So what is everyone and their mom doing with dropshipping and Shopify? They're hanging out on AliExpress. They're using Oberlo to copy-paste simple dropshipping products. They're creating very, very simple, these viral emoji spammy ads, and they're all doing this in English. And they think that they're going to be making money and they're actually going to be changing their lives and achieving a freedom business, a passive income business within the next month or 2 months. And let me tell you, if you're thinking that way, then you're sadly mistaken, because that's not going to happen. And if you're just following the herd, if you're following what everybody else is doing, then you will be in for a sad surprise. You will be in for disappointment. So right here, this is my store, and today I've made over 3.6K in revenue tapping Untapped Markets. And right now we're at 3:03 p.m. I'm currently in the United States, so this is the same time zone that my store is in, and the day isn't even over, so there's a ton of time left. There's actually 9 hours left in the day. So this is my e-commerce brand, and this is something that I've been working on for the past probably 6 months now. So this is a long-term effort. This is not something that I built overnight, and I actually started with targeting English-speaking countries, but then I slowly expanded into targeting untapped markets, because I realized the huge potential in targeting countries with high populations and countries that most dropshippers are not targeting, that maybe don't speak English, right? For example, Germany. A part of this chunk right here is targeting Germany, and a lot of sales I'm getting nowadays are from ads that are in the languages of the countries that I'm targeting in, that are not US, UK, Canada, or Australia. And why I'm telling you guys this is because I want you guys to actually build a freedom online business that will actually change your life, not based on what everybody else is doing. Something that is actually going to be going against what everyone else is doing, so you actually maximize your chances of achieving freedom. So you maximize your chances of making passive income in your life. So in this video, I'm going to explain Untapped Markets, what they are, how to detect them, and why they're so much better for the brand new beginner Shopify e-commerce store owner or dropshipper. And I'll basically be explaining all the best strategies, exactly what I'm doing to be making this money every single day. And by the way, this is only the beginning. With Untapped Markets, I'm predicting to make $10,000 every single day with a large amount of profit within probably by the end of this month. So right now we're June 4th. And so that's because I'm actually going and doing what people are not doing, what most Shopify beginners are not doing, and what most Shopify YouTubers are not talking about. All right, guys, let's talk about Untapped Markets. So everyone and their mom, like I said, is hanging out on AliExpress. They're copy-pasting products onto their Shopify store using Oberlo, and they're making super basic video ads in English, and they're not thinking about the concept of you must stand out if you really want to win. And I'm not talking about just getting average results, right? Yeah, you might achieve $4,000 a month in revenue every single month with a simple Shopify store. Yeah, that's possible, of course. But my goal here with this video and with my entire channel is to get you to freedom. And to get you to freedom, I know that freedom, it's not freedom if it's only for a month, 2 months, to 3 months. It's only freedom if it's for a year, 2 years, 3 years, for the rest of your life. And of course, once you already have freedom within the next few months, then you're going to be able to build on that and expand it to other businesses, expand your brand, and then who knows, maybe later sell it for $100 million, just like Movement Watches did. And I always reference that example because this is something that I'm very, very passionate about, and this is something like one of my goals for my own store. So right here, this is a list of the best untapped markets that I found, and I actually just went into my Shopify and I went into my store and I pulled up the report and I looked at the highest amount of sales. So I just sorted by highest amount of sales, top to bottom, and these were the countries that popped up. And so this is something very, very interesting. So as you can see, if I'm not counting USA, UK, Australia, or Canada, Germany, Brazil, Mexico, Italy, Spain, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, so this is Scandinavia, New Zealand, France, Netherlands, Belgium, Hong Kong, and Singapore, those are the best untapped markets. These are markets that if I was starting dropshipping right now, if I was just, creating a brand new store with a brand new product, I would go and actually focus on only one of these countries, and I would create ads in that country's language, as well as create that store in that language. And that way, I am already weeding out so much competition. I'm already so much above everybody else. So these are the best ones. And I'm going to show you guys later how to filter out the best untapped markets and what the exact criteria is for the best untapped markets, so you can go and take this information and create a profitable Shopify business for yourself and a powerful e-commerce brand. So why are they so good for Shopify? Why even bother doing untapped markets? Why not just go and advertise to USA, Canada, UK, and Australia? I mean, these are obviously proven countries. These are countries that many Shopify dropshippers and e-commerce store owners are targeting very profitably. Well, there's a couple reasons. So there's much less competition for Facebook ads, which means that your ads will be much cheaper. And that's because there's just a lot less people that are advertising in these countries. Most people are advertising in the US, in Canada, in Australia, and in the UK. And they're not really thinking about Germany, Brazil, Mexico, Italy, none of these countries. New Zealand, even though New Zealand is an English-speaking country, it's so small small that it's still very, very profitable to target. It's actually extremely profitable to target based on my results. So you got France, Netherlands, Belgium, and you just have so much less ads going to those countries. Most Shopify store owners that are starting out, they're probably in the United States, Canada, Australia, the UK, because these countries are more familiarized with the concept of dropshipping. Dropshipping, only a few, for example, in France, I've seen already a few French YouTubers that are already starting to advertise dropshipping and how to start doing dropshipping in France. So that's why, that could be the reason why it's getting more and more competitive, but it's only just starting. Obviously these countries are always everything comes much later than the US, Canada, UK, and Australia. So there's also lower CPMs, and CPM just means the cost to reach 1,000 people on Facebook, or the cost for 1,000 impressions for 1,000 pairs of eyeballs to look at ads. So that's another reason, and that's just because there's less competition. So Facebook ads is an entire system, and what it runs on is it's an auction system. So the more competition there is, the more expensive the ads, and you better make sure that your ads are good, or else you will be paying a lot of money for Facebook, and Facebook will basically be robbing you. So with these countries, your CPMs are much lower, which means there's less competition, which means there's more leeway for your ads to not be necessarily the best, just good enough, and you'll be able to make a lot of money, which is exactly what I've been doing. Another great way is you can also reuse winning products from the US with less competition. So some of the big products that I've talked about recently, for example, BlendJet, and this is the product that I've been talking about recently, anybody who goes out there and creates a brand, for example, in France, in French, or in Germany, in German, I bet will kill it. You can go do it, leave me a comment down below, and of course let me know. I guarantee that whoever can go and take this concept and create their own brand in one of those countries that I talked about will absolutely kill it. I mean, this brand can succeed in any one of those countries because everybody needs a portable electric blender. It's just obvious. Same thing with many other Shopify brands. For example, we've got Hey Silky Skin. Right? This is a do-it-yourself laser hair removal tool at home, and this is something that has blown up in the past probably 4 months now, 3 months. So if you just want to go take this product, you can find it easily on Alibaba, and I use Alibaba. I don't really use AliExpress because most people are using AliExpress, and I found a lot of success that way. Most suppliers on Alibaba will actually dropship for you. So with Hey Silky Skin, you can just take this product and go and create a French brand for it. Obviously, the desires of the market in France are not that much different than the desires of the market in America. And obviously, people still have body hair in France, so they're obviously going to want this product. So there you go. That's why this is such a powerful method to go and differentiate yourself from all of the other Shopify dropshippers and everybody else that's starting out with Shopify. And there's also a lot of scaling potential if you're in the right market. So if you're doing this successfully in one of these countries, in only one of these countries, we're not trying to target 2 or 3. We're targeting only one with one ad account, and I'll go into that a little bit further in the video. But if you're only targeting one with $10 ad sets and it's profitable, then you can actually go and scale it a lot easier without having your ads fatigue very quickly, which means fatigue means your ads get the performance really drops fast, which happens on Facebook if your ads are not really that great, or if you're competing in very competitive markets, so the US, for example. And that's just obvious, right? Because if you're going to launch some ads, let's say in Germany, and you don't have a single Shopify store in Germany that is advertising your product, then you can scale to the moon. There's so many interests, there's so many different things you can target on Facebook in Germany, and with many of the other, not only Facebook, you got Google ads, you got Pinterest, there's a ton of other social media ads. Most people are just using Facebook. All these Shopify dropshippers are saying, okay, let's go on AliExpress, let's hang out there, let's try to find some BS product, let's go and post it up on a simple Shopify store, let's test it with some $3 ads, and let's just make some simple English ads. We're going to go find little clips from different videos online, and we're going to put some crazy emojis like, wow, buy this product. And so that's what most people are doing, is you have to realize. And when everybody's going one way, you want to go the other way. So that's why this is so amazing. So here are some requirements for finding untapped markets that will be great for your Shopify store and that you should be using to really separate yourself from the herd. E-packet shipping or better is a must, so you need to make sure that the country that you're going to target has at least e-packet shipping, and that's very easy. You can go on Google and you can type in e-packet list, and you'll be able to find an entire list of countries that has e-packet. So just check those out, and you also want to make sure that English is not the official language of that country. And that's huge because, as you know, most Shopify dropshippers, they target English only because their ads are only in English. And so obviously that's where the most competition is. You also want a relatively large population, so I would say at least above 2 million. And then you also want preferably a high GDP per capita. Now, I found that this is not necessary because I've actually done this very profitably in countries like Mexico and Brazil. And we'll just go quickly look at the GDPs of these different countries and why that matters. So if we go here and we type in GDP per capita, for example, Mexico, right? Mexico doesn't have a very high GDP per capita. It's $8,900. And this statistic right here, it's an economic statistic that correlates to the amount of money that people can spend on online products. So right here we got 8,900, and to put into economic terms, you don't have to really get into this too deep, but it basically just means the gross domestic product of an entire country, so everything the country produces divided by the population. So that's all it is. So Mexico has 8,900. So you would think that, okay, well, they probably don't have that much money to buy online products, so it'd be useless to go and advertise there. Well, my advice to you is try anyway, because the population of Mexico is huge, and if you can find a profitable product that will be great in Mexico, it's 129 million people, and there's a lot of people in that 129 million that have the money to actually go and buy online products. And also, Mexico has e-packet shipping, which is great, which means that you have 2 weeks shipping. And just to show you an example of another country that I've done this profitably in, if you go to population of Germany, 82 million, it has e-packet, and obviously there's a lot of people there that are willing to spend money on products. So GDP per capita, Germany, we just type that in, and it's 44,000, which is significantly higher than Mexico. So you have a much higher chance that that you'll get a good conversion rate on your stores, that you'll actually have people that are buying from your store if it's in German and if the ads are in German. So 45,000, and the German population, as we just saw, was 82 million, 83 million, and the same thing with, for example, a country like Norway. So if you go to Norway, GDP per capita, that's also an e-packet country, 75,000, which is really, really high. It's much higher than most countries in the world, actually. And so if we type in population of Norway, all right, that's 5 million. That's not too much, but their GDP per capita makes it worth it to actually go and try out a Norwegian store. And I'll get into, you don't have to learn how to speak Norwegian. You don't have to do any of that. You can actually just go and make your store in English. And I'll explain how to translate your store later in this video. Make sure you stay. So here are some examples of great countries right here. So Germany, we just looked at that, 44,000 GDP per capita, 83 million people. Sweden as well, really great. France, Italy, they don't have that high of a GDP per capita, much higher than Mexico, as I've shown, which is a country that I was profitable in. But there's still really good opportunities for Shopify because they've got such a high population. And so, like I explained, they're so good for Shopify because there's much less competition, lower CPMs, a lot of scaling potential. You want to make sure that the population uses Facebook and IG. That's very, very important. And so now let's talk about how to actually create our store. So you want to set up your entire store in English, right? Everything, all the copy, the titles, the ad copy, the video captions on your videos, and the frequently asked questions pages, everything you want to set up in English. And then you're going to hire someone on Upwork to translate everything into your new language. So you can just go on Upwork. There's a ton of amazing freelancers. I've used this website many, many times. So this is Upwork right here. As you can see, I am actively using this website every single day. I've hired many freelancers off of here, many amazing virtual assistants and other employees for my business. And you can just go on here and you can search for translation. You can search for, German or Norwegian or French, right? And just go and, make sure that you're filtering by most active in the past 2 weeks. And you want to make sure that you're selecting all of like the most strict filters. So over $10,000 earned and things like that, right? So you'll see there, and it doesn't have to be US only. So make sure that you click that off. And then I highly recommend getting a second person on Upwork to proofread everything. And this is very important. You don't have to do this, but just because if you're speaking German, if you're a German native speaker and you go on a German Shopify store and you can clearly tell that it's like, very bad translation, like Google Translate did this, then you're not going to buy the product because you're going to know that it's probably just straight from China, and obviously you're not going to do it. So that's why you want to get a second person on Upwork. Now, for an ad strategy, you want to create a brand new ad account in the new country. This is what I did, and only run ads targeting that country in the new ad account. And so this way, there's no overlap, and you're not, targeting like the same country in your old ad account that's for international for all ePacket, which is what I do. And you also want to use the local time zone of that country, and that's important because then Facebook, will show you exactly, like it's not going to be confusing between your Shopify store and your time zone. Now you can also use your previous lookalikes that were successful with your store that you were running for your international. So let's say you were targeting all ePacket or Big Four, so Canada, US, UK, Australia, that you can just go and take those lookalikes and you can test them out with just this one country. And I've done that, and it works really, really well. So just go test it. The name of the game with Facebook is test it. Don't listen to what anyone is saying until you test it, all right? So the goal with all of this is this will allow you to separate yourself from the entire competition, and while everyone and their mom is selling products in the US and these English-speaking countries, you'll be making all the profit in the other ones because nobody is even looking. And it's going to take years for people to catch up and to actually, by the time that like there's amazing dropshipping stores in every single country, there's amazing Shopify stores, trust me, it's going to take years. This is only the beginning of e-commerce, and right now is the best time to go and start an e-commerce business. If you're stuck at a 9-to-5 job, if you're out there struggling, you're in debt, this is the best time. Like all movement in history was created on rising tides, and so right now the biggest rising tide is e-commerce. It's obvious, right? So for me, e-commerce has absolutely changed my life. I was completely broke 3 years ago, and I mean, I was like working a 9-to-5 job, miserable. I was $40,000 in college debt. And then at first I got into e-commerce, and I just basically cleaned windows. I quit my job, dropped out of university, cleaned windows to start my very first business, and my entire life changed. So, just taking that from me, if I can do it, you can too. So if you are interested in learning everything you need to know to make 6 or 7 figures a year with Shopify, with dropshipping, and with e-commerce, and how to actually create an e-commerce brand that, you can create right now from where you are. I started in the exact same shoes as you, and I went along this journey, made a lot of mistakes, had a lot of obstacles. And so if you want to learn all of that, even the mistakes that I made, to make sure that you're not going to make those mistakes, you're not going to repeat them, that might cost you thousands of dollars, and you're also going to learn everything you need to know to do with Facebook ads, because that's a whole other beast in itself, then go ahead and join the Shopify Freedom course. Make sure that you join by the end of the week, because I will be closing it. I'm thinking of closing it here very, very soon, because I want to make sure that my first group of students, we're already at like 300, and I want to make sure that we're going to get some success stories on the YouTube channel. So the link is down below for Shopify Freedom. I'll see you in there, and you can also subscribe to the YouTube channel if you found value in this content, if you want to see more Shopify content and e-commerce and how to make money online and freedom content. Hope you guys enjoyed, like the video. I'll see you guys soon.